My father was a drill sergeant. I don't know if you ever stopped being a drill sergeant, but my dad never has. But one of the things that was always amazing to me with my dad, when we would go camping, it wasn't camping until you killed somebody. That was kind of his attitude. It was a recon mission, okay? That's what we were really doing. Or my dad would gather the family around the kitchen table to plan a camping trip. And the first thing he would say is, do you think we should bring a tent? And my mother would be all for tent. She would also be all for Holiday Inn. She thought that was a pretty good idea. That felt like camping to her. And then once we had the tent argument, the next argument was, do we bring food? And we have that argument. Do we bring sleeping bags? And you think I'm kidding. There have been times in my life I had a fishing pole and I went. And that was camping. And that's how you did it. Because for my father, he did something really important. He always had a way of talking to me. And he had this phrase, and I like it so much I want to share it with you. Whenever I had to make a decision and do something important, he would always tell me, he'd define the time. He'd say, you have days, not weeks. You have hours, not days. You have minutes, not hours. You have seconds, not minutes. Whenever he would present me with a problem to solve, he would always tell me how long I had, and he would say it in just that way to help me understand my limits. But when we would go camping, my father very much was this inside-the-box thinker. But my dad did something the opposite of what we might want to do. But I think there are some times when we ought to do this. That is, he would shrink the box. You see, it got to a point where if things like shelter and food to him were limits. So he said, no, let's make it really small. My dad, 1994, had the big blizzard. Blizzard come down. First thing he says is, let's go camping. He won because, you know what, you can't learn to snow camp unless you got snow. You can't learn to treat frostbite unless you have frostbite, which, by the way, I disagreed with. I thought of 10 ways you could treat frostbite without actually having it. But he would shrink that box down. There are times when you're working in your organization, and maybe the best thing to do isn't to try to expand your box, it's to shrink the box. You might say, we've got a budget of $10,000 to do this. If you're a good manager, I think maybe you turn around and you say, what if we had to do it for free? And then explore that for a little while.